Hello guys, what's up out there? Thank you so much for coming to my YouTube channel. It's your girl right here, Jermaine. I'm so happy and so excited to come back. I know it's been a while. First of all, I would like to apologize for not posting anything for the last long time, at least more than 4 months. So I'm very sorry that I wasn't unable to actually to post anything. I know you guys have been asking me a lot of questions, like what is my next video is gonna talk about, why am I not posting the videos. Guys, you've been messaging me, other people I've been talking face to face. Guys, I'm very sorry and it will never happen again. So first of all, I would like to say sorry, to apologize to everyone. I miss you guys. You miss me, I know it, you know it, we both know it. So I'm very sorry for that. Secondly, I'd like to promise you guys, for now on, I'm gonna be posting a video, at least 2 videos per week, or 3 if possible. But fortunately, I'll be posting at least 2 videos per week. So I'm so excited, so happy. A lot of things has happened in my life. A lot of things has happened together in your life, in my life, in our lives. So I'm very excited. And as I said, today I have actually specifically video that I would like to talk about. Take your tea. If you're driving, please be safe. So the video of today, I'm going to be talking about how you can get a visa in 1 month. 1 month. And it's actually funny how for some reason I always get people to ask me questions about the same thing over and over again. Every time I always find myself I'm answering people's questions. It may be on Instagram, it may be on Facebook, it may be on my on Messenger. Like every time I always have like people who actually ask me about to get a visa in 1 month or how to do it as an international student. So I already done my point. As I told you, I'm gonna make sure you understand. I'm gonna make sure you are gonna do it. I'm gonna make sure you're gonna help somebody else, because many people, they don't know you can actually do it for yourself. You don't need to pay money. You don't need to pay 4,000 or 5,000, whatever it is, to be able to put all the documents together. Yeah, it's hard, but you need to know what's needed to actually to apply for it. What's needed, how to start, who to talk to, how to do it. First of all, I'd like to actually to tell you guys, one of the things that I've learned in my life is that if I actually love something, I will go and get it. And how I always do it, I will always make sure if there's something that I love, I will check the information online. I know some of you guys, or even me too, sometimes I do it, ask friends, whatever. But if you actually want the real answer, don't go and ask the questions and then after you start applying for it. How about you check the questions or you check the answers for yourself? How about you get the answer that you're looking for online? You know, Google it. That's why Google is here. If you like something you'd like to know about, whatever it is, residence, citizenship, or applying to go whatever, like in Canada or USA or Australia, just Google it. You don't need, it's good to ask people, but at the same time, before you actually make decision, find information for yourself. It's always better and efficient. So okay, first thing you need to do, number 1, before you apply, you need to get passport photos. That's the number 1 thing you need to do before anything. You need to be to get a pictures, like passport photos, so that to be able to apply for a visa. And those photos, it's not any passport photos. You need to make sure you get the right pictures. You need to make sure you get the right size, so that you don't make a mistake, because if you do, those pictures can actually be denied. Okay, I want you to understand that part. So I don't know how you get a passport from your country, but you need to know on how to get a passport, because passport is the first thing, it's the number 1 key to be able to even to apply for a school before you get a visa. Because there's two things. You apply first of all to get a school. After you get admission, after you get accepted from school, then you can actually apply for a visa. and I'm gonna tell you how I did it so that you can go ahead and do it. That's what I'm trying to explain to you guys. So as I said, passport is the second thing. So I already done my points so that I make sure I don't miss any points. So that I make sure you don't miss any point, or I don't miss any point. The third thing you need to do, you need to search for a school. There's a many school. I don't know where you're trying to apply. I don't know if you're trying to apply for from Australia or France or whatever. As you apply here in Canada, I'm gonna tell you how it works, because I'm sure it's almost, there's a lot of things I will say with other countries. There's a lot of things, like I would say 70%. The same thing. It's almost the same thing. Of course, there's small thing that you need to add depending on which country. But as in Canada or other countries, 70% of the information or 70% of requirement, it's all the same. Yeah, it's all the same. So the third thing that I was trying to tell you guys, you need to search for a school. Make sure you get the best school, or the school which is interesting in you, right? You can't just get a school whatever. Like, you need to make sure, okay, this school, I've seen the requirement, and before you even apply, you need to see the requirement from that school, that specifically school. Because you may say you want to do, let's say, because me, I'm doing marketing, right? I may say, oh, I need marketing and I love that school, let me go and apply. And then you find out you get denied because they don't have marketing. They don't have marketing program. So you need to make sure the program that you're looking for, they have it to that specifically school you want to apply for. Okay, so that's another thing. And make sure it's always good to make sure the program that you're applying for, especially if you're an international student, make sure it's at least minimum 3 years. Yeah, I know some people, they do 2 years, whatever. Like, it's always good at least to be 3 years, 4 years. Some of them, others, they do 5 years. But when you're trying to apply, you actually have to make sure it's at least 3 years, so that to show the government, or where you apply, which government you're applying for, or the people who actually takes care of the visa, they see you're serious, you want to do something that will help you in the future. So make sure at least 3 years, and make sure the school that you're looking for, they have that program. And before you apply, as I said, make sure you have the requirements to apply for that specifically program, okay? So that you're not gonna get denied. But make sure you're choosing something you like. Don't choose because of money. Don't choose because of others told you. Choose something you want to be in. So that's another topic, but it's very important. What else? Another topic is yes, I talk about check the requirement before you apply. Okay, so after you apply, you have to wait. I believe it depends which school, but it's at least 2 or 3 weeks to be able to get admission, to be able to get accepted. You get accepted, you have admission letter. That's good. That's first part. You just finished the first part of your journey to apply for a visa. So that is done. That's good. And the other thing, before I jump to visa process, make sure that your diploma, or the last 3 years, because they always ask the last 3 years, make sure you have a good point, you have a good grades, because if you don't have a good grades, you may actually get denied. Make sure the years you've been working, or like you've been working for, like from your country, make sure you have a good grade, and make sure you know the requirement of that program, because so that you're not gonna get denied in the future or after you're applying. And you remember, when you're applying for admission, you have to pay for the fees. So it depends. So admission fees, that's what I'm talking about. It depends, because here in Canada, it depends which school, like which school I am, University of Ottawa. It's how much is it? I think $250 Canadian, something like that. I don't remember, because it's been a long time that I applied for. But there's actually school or colleges, it will be like 150 Canadian. 150 Canadian, it's like I would say like a $90 US dollar. The school, they're gonna ask you the passport. They're gonna ask you the last 3 years of your education. They may ask you the paper that says how many siblings you have. So it depends which school. And another thing which is very important, if you're applying from your country where they speak French, and you want to apply for a country where they speak English, they may ask you the TOEFL, they may ask you English test, they may ask you EST, something like that. So it depends which country you're applying for. Like for me, when I applied, because I studied from I studied from Kampala, in Uganda. So when I applied here, I didn't have to do any test, because where I was coming from, they were speaking English, even if I come from Burundi, right? So depending where you're coming from and where you're applying for, you need to be able to know. If you're applying for the places where maybe you trying to change your language, maybe you want to do English yet you study from French, it may be a little bit harder. So make sure you understand that, because TOEFL it's not easy. As far as I know, the TOEFL test, it's crazy. English test, basically all those tests, it's actually hard. But I would say English test is better than TOEFL. So make sure you understand if that school, make sure you understand that school it actually requires any test or TOEFL thing to do before you actually get admission. So all of that you have to put it in consideration, right? So that's done. So after you get admission from school, that's the part is done. Now it's the part of your you to get a visa. So you have your passport, you have your admission, everything is great. So now it's time to actually apply for a visa. First of all, I will say again one more time, search for the information of the country you're trying to apply. What is the requirement of you to be able to be eligible for as an international student? You need to be able to search the information by yourself. Don't go and ask questions. It's okay to ask people, but make sure you do it by yourself and you understand and you know the requirements. Because each country has their own way of doing things. So make sure you know and you understand the requirement. So as in Canada, the first thing you need to do after getting admission, you have to go to OEM. OEM, it's where you go, you get the test for your health. They check OEM, it's where you get your examination. And even after, before you apply for a visa, when you check the information online, they actually tell you where to go and get that test, where to go and get those tests to be able to be they check on you, and they tell you the address where to actually to go and get those tests. So that's done. So there's that. You need to have the documents ready for your sponsor. It may be your parent, it may be your auntie, it may be whoever is gonna sponsor you. Your education, you need to be able to have them ready. You need to be able to have the documents ready, because number one thing they're gonna ask you, you need to have at least 3 months of their salary for where they work from. You need to have a letter from their employer, it's called employment letter. So you need to get that as well. If your parents they are the ones who's gonna pay for your education, you need to get that. So 3 months of their salary, a letter from their employer. If they have houses or anything, wealth, you need to put that as well from your application. And what else? Let me check my papers, because I write it down so that I make sure that I'm not gonna miss anything. And all of those papers, you put them together before you actually apply for as an international student. So I'm giving you all the list of the things you need to do to apply as an international student. So and make sure the salary of your sponsorship, of your sponsor, it actually covers your education. If you're gonna stay here in 4 years, make sure the salary of the person that is gonna sponsor you, it actually covers the days you're gonna be staying here. If it's 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, make sure it's covered. Okay. And the other thing, when we talk about education, we not only talk about school fees. We're not talking about only that. We're talking about your rent, food, clothes, books, buses, like all of that. It has to be included. For example, here in Canada, a rent can actually be, depending where you go, to rent one room, you can find out just to rent only one room, because there's like houses for a student where you actually have like 4 rooms, and then you rent on one room, and then you pay like $800 Canadian dollar, or 750. So it depends. Using $250 per week, buying groceries, things like that, things to use in the house. So I would say 250 per week, so 1,000 per month, right? So I would say clothes. So clothes depends. So there's people who likes to shop a lot, who like to go to buy something every weekend, to go out and buy something. But for me, I would say $400 per month or $300 per month, it's actually enough for clothes. And now I'm saying about the people who just come here because you need a lot of things. But if slowly by slowly you being here, you're gonna learn on how to manage and how to budget your money. I'm just trying to give you information because all these expenses is gonna be on your application. It's gonna make sure the government, they're gonna make sure you have that money. They're gonna make sure the expenses of the food, clothes, books, buses, everything is included before you apply or before you get accepted, right? So there's clothes. I'll say books. So it depends. So for example, if you're choosing the if you're taking a 4-year program like me, per semester, like now, because I'm trying to finish school, which I'm gonna be done soon. When I started, it's actually harder to start with the 5 classes or 6 classes. But now I'm in my last year. I'm taking 6 classes. But that, I would say, hold on, go slowly. It's actually harder than you think. But when you start, you can actually take only 4 classes. I would actually suggest when you come here, you take 4 classes. So what I'm talking about, why am I talking about that? I'm talking about buying books. So buying books, if you're taking 4 classes as a beginner, or like it's your first year, whatever. So it depends with books. It depends with your classes. It depends with your program. Some books are like $250. Some books are like $180, $300, $350. So it depends which program that you're taking and the classes itself. Each class has its own book, and then so I would say, let's say $250 per book. So if you're taking 4 classes, make sure the money of those 4 classes is actually there per semester, right? So buses, it's actually included in the it's actually included in your school fees. So fingerprint is where they take your finger and you put a stamp on your papers, so that when those papers get sent to the government, they have your information about your fingerprint. So even if you change your passport, they're gonna find your whatever, like your name, your information basically. So fingerprint is very important. So after you putting all those papers together, they are gonna send you the address and the address where to go and get that fingerprint. So that fingerprint is the same for government, which they're gonna make sure they have all your information. Even if something happens, they still have your information, anything about you, right? So the fingerprint they're gonna send you after you send basically the fingerprint is after you sending the application. And make sure you understand, fingerprint is not free. So fingerprint is like 85, as far as I know, it's $85, 85 Canadian dollar. It's like 60 or 58 USD. So and the application itself, it's 150 Canadian. So 150 is like I would say maybe $100 USD or 95 USD, so something like that. So 150 and plus $85, those are the money you need to be able to send to the government that you're applying for, or you to get a visa, right? So you have to have that money ready. You have to have, basically when you send the application, the 150 and 85, you're gonna put them together and then you send. It has to be ready. It's not something you pay now and then you're gonna pay the rest later. No, you pay together. But for the school, for the admission letter, that you've already finished. You've already paid your admission, so that is done. So as I said, it depends which school. It may be 250 for your admission, or 150 or 300. So it depends where you apply for, and those are two things different, right? So you apply and make sure the moment you get your admission, make sure you apply right away. Don't wait too long. Just at least wait, maybe I would say 1 week, to put all those papers together and send the email. Send your application. Don't wait too long, right? So after you apply, you're gonna get 4 messages. You're not gonna get them all, or you're not gonna get them on the same day, but you're gonna get them. The first message is gonna talk about the so after you apply, like after you sent your application, The first message you're gonna get is gonna talk about your submission has been successfully sent. The second email is gonna talk about your application is in the process, right? And the third email, I believe, is gonna talk about the decision has made. And then the fourth email is gonna talk about actually the decision has been made, like you have the answer. They say yes or they say no. But in 1 month, you should be able to get an answer from the government that you get a visa or you did not. If you put all those documents together, if you put everything needed to you to be able to apply for it, if you put anything you think it may help you to get a visa, you should be able to get a visa. There is no reason of the government saying no if you have everything required. Yeah, as I said, sometimes people say, oh, visa it's a chance, you don't know if you're gonna get it, whatever. I understand. I remember when I was trying to apply, I have my sister who lives in Quebec. She used to tell me, oh, you're not gonna get a visa, oh, because I have my friend who have a family in Canada. They've been denying her 4 or 5 times. You're gonna get those people who can actually discourage you. She's my sister, and every time I want to apply, she was like, you're not gonna get it. Guess, guys, after 1 month, I got the answer that yes, you get a visa. But and other thing, if you get a visa, if you get accepted, they're not gonna tell you, oh, we gave you a visa. That's not how they say it. Not here in Canada. I don't know other places or other countries, but here in Canada, they're not gonna tell you, oh, they're not gonna tell you, oh, you get a visa. No, they're gonna tell you, you to be able to finish your application, or us to be able to finish your application, we need you to send your passport this place. They will give you the address, blah blah blah, 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 where to send your application, or where to send your passport, so that to be able to finalize your process or your application or your demand, your request. So that's how they say it. But if they say no, they're gonna actually tell you, oh, you need to send they're gonna give you basically the reason why they say no. They're gonna give you A, B, C, D, blah 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 blah, why the reason they say no. But if they say yes, they're not gonna say specifically yes. They're gonna tell you, oh, to be able to finish the application, send your passport to this address. And then after you send the application, after you send your passport, it takes like a week. For me, I sent it to DHL. It took like a week to send and come back. Come back, it's like 120. So you need to have that money ready, 120 Canadian. It's like, I would say like $100 USD, right? So make sure you have all the money ready when you send your passport, because you have to pay twice, right? Like to go and come back. You have to pay that the day you send the passport. So after you send the passport, as I said, take 1 week. 1 week, you get the passport. You see your visa in your passport, and then you plan your trip. I have a lot of things, guys, I would like to talk about. So today I decided to actually to apply it, to break it down, to tell you what you need to do to actually to get a visa, or what you need to do to actually to apply for a visa as an international student. Because many people, you guys, my friends, people from all over the world, they ask me, they text me, because I was able to do it by myself. I was able to do it for one of my sister. So I'm very happy and very excited to share this information with you. Hopefully you enjoy, hopefully it's gonna help you, hopefully you're gonna actually help somebody else, because it's good to share information. If something is gonna be useful to others, it's one of the things that I've learned to actually to share the experience with you. So thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you so much for coming here. Stay tuned. I love you guys. I'm gonna be posting another video, very interesting video. We will have the best moment ever. I can't wait to share the things that I have in the store for you guys. I love you. Thank you so much. Bye.